probably cursing myself by having a carbonated beverage. I'm probably gonna give myself hiccups. It's typically something I get when I drink carbonated, but these Zevias, the black cherry, one of my faves, the orange. Oh yes, the grape is just like, the grape is everything. All right, you guys, welcome to my channel. I am Chanel Colette. I am an online strength and conditioning coach, a fitness influencer, if you will, and an athlete with Paragon Fitwear and Legion Athletics. So there is a wrap up of me in case you're new to this channel. Welcome, happy to have you. My goal here with my channel is to educate, inspire, and motivate you guys to be your most audacious selves. And I think that does first and foremost start with educating yourself in whatever it is that you're passionate about and whatever it is that is your hobby that you want to pursue. So it may not just be fitness. You may just like watching fitness YouTubers, and that's cool too, and I'm happy to have you guys. And for all my returning subscribers, I love you guys. This topic I'm about to discuss with you guys came highly requested at the beginning of 2018. I really wanted to dive into my YouTube channel further and provide you guys more consistent content that wasn't just related to vlogging. And one of those topics was my path to coaching. My path to coaching has now been a 10-year process. So when I say this to you guys, I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. Like, don't rush this process, because I've learned so much about myself, about how to handle clients, and about how to pursue being a really, really solid coach in this industry. And my first piece of advice to you guys is, if you guys do want to be an online coach, find some mentors. Many of us in the industry would be happy to help and guide. I know I try to answer as many DMs about personal training, about online coaching, about certifications and all that jazz, and we'll get into that. But find a mentor, guys, do your research, continue to pursue other people who are doing a good job at what it is that you want to do. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and dive into this. It gives me a chance to kind of for you guys to get to know me a little bit more on a deeper level, because I don't know if I've ever had that about me vlog, really, because when I first started my YouTube channel, it was reflected around my contest prep and myself as an athlete, and no longer is myself as the athlete like a focus on my channel, because I haven't been able to compete. So I wanted to create other topics that could bring you guys in to discuss things with me, discuss in the comment section below. Oh, I told you guys it's been a 10-year long process. So be patient, work hard, and be diligent, because this process for me started in 2007 to 2008. That started with an internship at a gym in Athens, Georgia called the Omni Club, or formerly called the Omni Club. Now it's called Athens Health and Fitness, I believe. It was a wonderful company to start with, a great understanding of what it was like to be involved in the fitness industry in a very large sector. So the gym was huge. I mean, when I say Globo Gym, it was basically the gym took up an entire Kroger. The gym was high quality equipment, plenty of cardio, like hundreds of classes a month, small group training, personal training, cycle, yoga, boxing, they called Fight Club. Like, it was just a really like all-encompassing health and fitness club. And that is where I started as an intern, unpaid. I did this before I graduated college, and it gave me 2 hours of college credit. Like, guys, it really wasn't that big of a deal, but it was definitely like my foot in the door start to the process for me. My internship was actually in event planning. My degree is in public relations and communications with an emphasis in sports marketing. And that was where I got into event planning in the gym. So that's where I kind of got my foot in the door. And I really just loved working there. I loved the atmosphere. I loved all the people. Upon graduating, my husband was still going to be in the Athens area finishing up his degree. So I pursued a full-time job at this gym. I pursued a job that they actually created for me specifically. To this day, I'm still like flattered by. They saw something in me as an intern, and they wanted to give me a place at their table in management, like right away, which was so cool. I was a new member coordinator. And so as the new member coordinator, it was my responsibility to increase membership retention and increase their likelihood of walking through the door. As you guys know, in many gyms, the biggest thing is getting them in the door, but also getting them to keep coming in the door so they don't cancel their membership. I also needed to help these members learn how to dive into the gym, like take classes, take the right kind of classes for their goals, learn how to set up a spin bike so you could actually sit down on the darn thing. My most probably important role in terms of making money for the business was selling personal training. After they join the gym and get their membership, it was also part of my responsibility to sell them personal training. I had to sell them lifestyle change, and that was through personal training. And so I had to understand what it was like to be a training client in order to sell personal training. As a part of the management team at the gym, all of us were required or were asked to do 2 personal training sessions a week, and I absolutely loved it. I got to do multiple training sessions with multiple trainers, get to see their style and really understand what a new member may be interested in and what trainer they would be best fit with based on like their training style, their personality. And so I was kind of like the matchmaker, if you will, for helping people achieve their goals. And that rolled into me being interested in myself about personal training, because I also thought that that would make me better, and it would also allow me to do like initial fitness assessments and initial personal training sessions with members, kind of give them a feel of what it would be like to have a personal trainer without taking the time from our on-staff, on-payroll personal trainers. The Omni Club at the time was generous enough to pay for my personal training certification. My first personal training certification was through AFA, and it was a weekend seminar where we were also required to read through a textbook through that short frame of time. We actually had to order the textbook beforehand, so we had to go through the textbook before the weekend seminar. That's what it was. And then starting to sell personal training a lot more and generating a lot more commission for myself through that route. And then from there, they saw, again, something in me. Like, they just kept seeing something in me, and I kept going to them for wanting to do more and wanting to be more. My boss at the time, he said, "Why would you ever want to just be good when you could be great?" And like from that moment, it just kind of stuck with me. Like, I just kept pursuing. Then I was like, I want to bring nutrition into this scheme of things, because the number one thing from somebody not achieving their goals in a personal training setting is typically revolved around their nutrition. Somehow there's that missing puzzle piece that makes them quit because they didn't see the results that they wanted to. It's typically not the trainer's fault. Unfortunately, the trainer does sometimes get blamed, but a lot of the time it's their commitment to their nutrition. And I wanted to fill that gap for those clients and help them see that they could get the most out of their training sessions if they took care of their nutrition. So at the time, we did some research as a company and myself to figure out what the most relevant fitness nutrition certification out there at the time, this was again back in probably 2011, 2010-ish, probably. At the time, a fitness nutrition specialist was through ISSA, so International Sports Sciences Association. And through ISSA, I got a fitness nutrition certification. It was pretty intensive at first, a little bit daunting for me because my degree was not in anything science related. So I really had to take my time with it. Luckily, they let me start kind of designing and implementing the business plan for how this program would support the personal training department in the gym. We had what we call the bod pod, and I'm sure you guys know that tests body fat. And then we also had caliper testing, and we had a lot of ways to get somebody started in the assessment. So now when somebody signed up for personal training, once I got my fitness nutrition certification, they had an intro session with me that was also paid for through the personal training department. So I actually got paid for each session I serviced. And from there, I was able to pitch them a nutrition program to complement their personal training. It was another revenue stream for the gym. It was another commission revenue stream for me. I set up their bod pod. I figured out what like their baseline caloric intake should be, and I helped them set up this. There was like a software that the company actually invested in that was just like MyFitnessPal at the time. Like, it was so similar to MyFitnessPal. But MyFitnessPal didn't come out until like a year later. I was able to set them up with like their favorite foods, and when you put their favorite foods on the list, their caloric intake, their activity level, their goals, whether it was like strength training, endurance, or whatnot, it was able to generate kind of, or populate a like sample meal plan for them to go based on. It came with like a grocery list. It came with a couple sample recipes that included the foods that were on their favorites list. I mean, like, guys, this was like a really cool program. I wish I could remember the name of the program at the time. I was actually able to generate over $13,000 in about a 6-month time frame added on to the personal training revenues. Not only did they sign up for personal training, but on top of that, we added $13,000 $100,000 in revenue. Like, they were blown away by what I was able to support the training department with. And also the members were so excited to have this opportunity to actually learn about nutrition and see the most of their personal training. So retention rates were higher, check-in rates at the gym were higher. Everything was just like snowballing, and it was just so cool for me to watch and be at the inception of this. I can't thank this gym enough for giving me those opportunities. Any of you guys are watching this from way back when, like, gosh, thank you guys so much. Like, the experience there was awesome. I worked my butt off. It was crazy weird hours because I would have to go early in the morning, then I would work midday, and then I would have like this 3-hour break at home, come back from like 4 until like 7, 8, sometimes 9 o'clock at night. So it was kind of a crazy weird split schedule, but I absolutely loved it. I did have to work weekends because guess what, guys? People go to the gym on the weekends and work out and train and want training sessions, or that's their only time that they can do or be serviced for their nutrition sessions. Then from 2011 to 2012, my husband and I decided to get married and move to West by God, aka West Virginia, and that was because of his job. So I had to say bye to my role as the nutrition specialist at the Omni Club. However, this gave me a chance to kind of put everything I had in my basket, all my tricks, and see how it would play out for me and on my own accord, and like be my own boss essentially. And everything was harder in West Virginia because there was no Omni Club. There was no big Lobo gym. I was a certified spin instructor at this time, which again, the other gym paid for. So I started picking up spin classes at a local health and fitness club. I also picked up some styles of kickboxing classes by helping fill in at Fight Club at the other gym. And so I had the Fight Club and the kickboxing experience and also personal training certification at that time. So I started teaching this like kickboxing hybrid cardio HIIT class that I taught that people started to love because it was something that people in this little town in West Virginia hadn't had access to before. I found a personal training studio that was not a gym. It was just one-on-one clients, and they were also doing some small group training. I started some small group training with clients, and I was always a little different in the sense that my small group training classes, I would always stagger my clients. So it was almost like they got a little bit of independent one-on-one training from me. But after we would cover the first like compound exercises in the workout, then another client would come in and these other clients would then finish and roll through. So I could typically start off with 2 clients at a time coming in at the same time and then kind of roll through and end up it being a group atmosphere, but maybe the people who came in at 8 a.m. were doing a little bit different than what the people that came in at 8:30 were doing. And I was able to give them a custom program, but still in a group setting. So I was able to increase my income exponentially by being a lot more fluid in the way in which I brought on personal training, one-on-one sessions, and group sessions. So I kind of molded this hybrid thing into one, and it allowed me to service more individuals, give more individuals undivided attention in a group setting, allow them to have the group setting, which creates a great community atmosphere for them and a fun atmosphere because the people who came in at 8 o'clock, I typically tried to make them the same like activity level, the same goals. The people who came in at 8:30 had same activity level, same goals, and I tried to pair them with their schedule availability and their abilities overall, and it just kind of worked. Like, I can't like tell you guys enough how like this worked. So if you have the luxury of being in an independent personal training studio setting, I highly recommend trying to work through this with your current clients and see if you can increase your time exponentially investing in an individual client setting and also increase your monetary takeaway from increasing more people. You can also increase your exposure to more people, and you can open up your training books for more people. And like that to me was one of the biggest learning curves that I was able to experience for myself. And then I started doing the social media thing. I started putting more things on Facebook. I started a blog on Tumblr. Then the previous people from back in Georgia that I had worked with were like, hey, you're still doing this like fitness thing, you're still doing this nutrition thing, like I need you again. Like, sorry, I need to take a drink. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that looks like yet. Like I really truly didn't know what that could look like for me. I kind of did a little bit of research on this like online fitness world and like what I could do, and I went back to my ISSA certified personal training book, and I got some documents that were approved to like send to people and send to clients that had intake information like vitals, height, weight, current activity level. Basically it covers everything. So I would highly recommend the ISSA certified personal trainer certification for this very reason, because it gave me a stepping stone to what I needed to gather from my clients online. I started because I had people asking me. Like, that was the only reason. I didn't dive into it because revenue stream, I just saw the need for it because people were reaching out to me. My rates were at the time, like some of my friends I didn't charge, some of my previous clients, I just basically kind of charged them what I was charging them at the gym minus what the gym would take away from me. So that's where I kind of started my price point, if that makes sense. Because yes, when you're a personal trainer within a personal training environment inside a gym, you do have to either give a percentage of your income to the gym or pay them monthly for you to be there, or they pay your salary and you service the clients that they give to you. Things can look very different there, but so that was my starting price point. Was I was just like, well, you're not having to pay a gym anymore, so you're just gonna pay me what I was making before. So I did everything through PayPal. I still do everything through PayPal. It's very efficient, and I'm able to collect all my tax documents that I need through PayPal. They prepare it actually for you. Like, it's awesome. I can see all my invoices for the entire year. I can give it all to my accountant. So the next time frame is actually a 5-year time frame, and I'm gonna go quickly through this one because this was a time in which, from 2012 to basically 2017, I simply was wearing way too many heads. Like, I had way too many roles. Guys, I was group training. I was one-on-one coaching at this point online. I also was getting started with helping some friends do some contest prep. And from helping friends do contest prep, I then started feeling like I did friends for free. And yeah, you guys should probably consider helping your friends for free because they give you guys honest feedback. I started doing some contest prep plans and helping some of my friends get to stage for free. And then I started contest prep as well for other people. And after, you know, their success, I was able to then translate some of the things that I was learning over to helping other athletes get on stage. And that's where kind of my name started getting out there a little bit more in terms of coaching. A lot of people, when they see competitors get pretty lean, they reach out to you and want to get competition lean, and they don't quite understand. So I did do still more lifestyle, more weight loss specific programming for people who are interested in getting lean but not stage lean, and I always have to kind of preface that. I also had a role with SEC/About Time as a marketing coordinator. I did their expo coordinating, and then I also went into a full-time role as a social media marketing coordinator. From that full-time role, I still was training clients early in the mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was still coaching people online in the evening, like maybe 5 to 6 people at a time. Like, guys, I literally was wearing way too many heads, and I couldn't be great at one thing because I was good at 5 things, and I can't reiterate that enough. Then I moved to Louisville, and we moved here in 2017, and I did not have a strong enough online coaching business to fully support my family in doing just that. So I knew that moving to Louisville, there was a Lululemon. So then I got involved in Lululemon. Interim of getting involved with Lululemon, I also still maintained my online coaching business and increased my online coaching business because I had the support of my part-time job with Lululemon. Like, I can't reiterate this enough that like I couldn't just dive into online coaching right all the way. Like, just couldn't. I knew I wanted to because I knew that I could, but I didn't know what that was going to look like, essentially. So I'll work for Lululemon. So I worked for Lululemon pretty much the whole year and a half that I first moved to Louisville. Kind of jostled back and forth with like, do I want to fully invest in Lululemon because I absolutely love the company and I absolutely love my role with the company, and do I want to pursue the company in a larger capacity, or do I want to pursue full-time coaching? Because I realized that I couldn't do both any longer. I was getting too many inquiries to continue to turn down people who are needing online coaching and who were interested in working with me. And then I loved Lululemon, so I had to pick because, guys, you can't wear that many heads. Like, I am my best and fullest coach, and I show up in my most powerful way to all my clients now because I am an online coach. I will say that there are growing pains here. Like, it took me a while to get here. It didn't happen overnight. Like, it's not going to happen overnight for you. It's hard to fully believe that you can make a living off of this and off of online coaching without supplemental income at first. And that's how I always did it. That's initially why I probably wore too many heads, was because I probably wasn't charging enough. I probably was not being as time efficient as I could. And I also wasn't as educated as I am now. Guys, I have renewed my personal training certification. Now it has to be renewed every 2 years. I've been a certified personal trainer now for 10 years. So that means I had to get 20 CEUs every 2 years. That means I've had to take 20 times 4, so 80 continuing education credits that I've needed to get. That means I've had to stack on additional certifications. I recently did my strength and conditioning certification through ISSA. I've also been to the Physique Summit. I've done things to make myself a better coach. And I have done things to educate myself further in what I wanted to pursue. So I feel like my overall education and my gumption to continue to pursue learning and being better at what I've done gave me the confidence to fully invest in this full time. And it didn't happen easily, and there was growing pains, and it was hard, and there was times at which like I questioned whether or not I can continue doing this online, because you have to be able to read through emails, and you have to be able to give insight into your clients about what they're doing, and they may not even be telling you what they're doing, and you have to read into that understanding of like what your client is going through, and like trying to see what they're not telling you, like trying to read through the lines of what they're communicating to you or not communicating to you. And that was like something that was really tolling on me when I didn't know enough about how to manipulate different variables to get better response rates out of your clients. And that's what I felt like over the past year. I would say I fully have understood, like when a client comes at me with this is a couple options that I can throw at them and we can troubleshoot through. And those troubleshooting techniques I didn't understand how to get to and arrive at until I continue to pursue educating myself. I guess that kind of wraps up everything that I needed to tell you guys about my full-time coaching. I just went full-time coaching in July of last year. Like, I no longer work for Lululemon. I no longer work for another person, or I don't give my time to another business other than my own. Fortunately, I am a sponsored athlete with 2 companies that I absolutely adore, and I do have work requirements for them, posting requirements, not YouTube requirements per se, but I do have an obligation to these businesses to show that I appreciate their support. But it doesn't feel like work, because again, they support me in what I do, and they are passionate about, you know, me as the athlete. Before I wrap up this video here, I will say that my certifications, again, were initially through AFA years ago, and I always had the ISSA Certified Fitness Nutrition Specialist certification. So I carried on with the ISSA brand because it was actually more beneficial to, when it came time to renew my certification, to stay with the same umbrella, because I would get all my CEUs approved by the same overarching company, if that makes sense. They're a library of CEUs, and they would always count for both. It's not like I have to do 20 CEUs from 2 separate companies, so I wouldn't have to do 40 a year. Instead, my 20 counts for renewing all of my certifications under their umbrella. So I have now 3 certifications through them. My CPT is through them. Essentially got 2 CPTs. And I have a Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist certification through them as well. Now I have 3, and currently looking for some other seminars to attend. I do plan on attending the Physique Seminar, or the Physique Summit. Last year it was hosted by at the headquarters of First Form, and I believe it's going to be there as well. Weekend-long seminar of other coaches in the industry that I admire and that I've been able to learn from, and one of them is my coach. I do believe Jason Theobald will be attending and be a speaker at that. Educate yourself. Pursue what you can while you can. You may at one time or another have to wear multiple heads, because you have to have some substantial amount of like safety net, which you can sometimes get from personal training in a personal training environment where you're training clients one-on-one. That can sometimes be a little bit more dependable than online business. Online business does come and go. I don't have contractual obligations with my client other than they have month to month. So 1 month I could have an opening, 1 month I could not have an opening, and 1 month I could be full. So with that said, like, my best advice to you is make sure you have a little bit of a cushion. Make sure you have something that you can fall back on in case you have a slow month in terms of your online business. So there is a time at which you probably will wear too many heads. Or too many hats, I think is actually the term, the too many hats. Work through it, breathe through it, try to just constantly like refocus yourself and your energy towards your online coaching business if that is what you want to pursue. I would also wholeheartedly recommend you working in a personal training environment, potentially with other trainers. That Train the Trainer program, where trainers actually train other trainers, is highly, highly, highly valuable to me was highly valuable to me in my career. And so if you can get an environment where you have a group of trainers kind of working together as a unit to improve the training department as a whole and to improve client relations as a whole, like that experience for you is going to be like life-changing, I promise. This wraps up my video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope this was all the information that you wanted to hear about in terms of my pathway to coaching. I didn't want to do a Q&A here because I just, like I said, wanted to do a timeline of what it's been like for me. So if you guys appreciated this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any other topics of 2018 that you want me to discuss, I would be happy to. Hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos from me and be notified when I put another video up. And until then, I will see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye. Mwah.